Good evening, Chernarus. It is I, Octavian Caesar. Yes, you do not know me as of yet. That is a fact. But know this. To every Chernarushian, I am your ally, your brother. But let us get past these trivial things. I am here to speak the truth that has so long been denied to the people of my nation. My homeland. Yes. It has come to my attention and to the attention of my allies that there is a threat to our sovereignty. Yes, I know you're saying, what sovereignty? The nation is destroyed. Our government, non-existent. Yes, I hear you. But listen to this. Even in the age of European balkanization, there was an underlying identity. Ours is Chrono-Russian. We are not Russian. We are not Pakistanis. We are not internationals. We are Chrono-Russians. And I will concede that our government has been fragmented. Yes. But that is not necessarily the fault of our own government. Look at what propped up the IST regime. The UN. They come in, they say they want to help. But when we have the enemies of Chernarus on their back, when we have our blades, our bayonets at their throat, they stop us. Now, I will admit the intentions of the United Nations soldiers may have been benevolent. But their politicians are the enemies of Chernarus, just like the politicians of Pakistan are the enemies of Chernarus. Now, this may seem to come off as irrational anger, hatred even, but no. I have no hatred for the people of Pakistan. No hatred for the United Nations as nations, as groups of people. No, I see their military and their government, or as I should say, what is left of the military and government, for we all know that there is no power left in Europe. No power left in the Americas. But back to the point. They, too, are fragmented. Yes, but still, their politicians, their military, is the enemy of Chernarus. There are, in fact, examples of this within the boundaries of our nation. Now, you are wondering what examples I will give. I will give the best example. They call themselves Alpha Company. I won't give them more than the attention they deserve, but I have to give them some. They pose as Americans, saying they are remnants of American forces of the Chernarus nation. I have done my research. My men have done their research. My men have infiltrated their ranks, posing as American refugees. Of course, what we did was benevolent. We needed to know who they were. And we were not found wanting. We found the truth we knew existed. These are not Americans, not the people that helped us fight the Soviets tooth and nail in the Cold War, liberated us from their oppression. These are Russian and Pakistani spies. All of them. Their leaders care not for Chernarus. They care for the inevitable takeover by the Russian government. When, of course, the Russians come back from whatever hellhole they are hiding in. Yes, it is true. Alpha Company is a company of spies, sent here to gain a foothold for the Russian Federation. The Russians. I hear you ask, where is the proof? Where is it? Well, here is the proof. My men who infiltrated their ranks tell me this. They do not answer to European or American hails. They answer to radio calls from Moscow and St. Petersburg. Furthermore, at no time did the American military enter Chernarus. Well, not the American military. The United Nations did come, and I will not deny there may be some American elements among them, but they came as the United Nations, and unironically, they defended our enemy. But at no time did American-clad military forces enter Chernarus. So where do they come from, this Alpha Company? Well, that's simple. When our government was torn apart by the horde of the undead, the Chernarus people were distracted, fighting for their lives, for what was left of our nation. That's when the Russians came. That's when the Pakistanis came. That's when the IST broke out. Yes, they exist among them, this Alpha Company. Communists, Russians, and yes, Pakistanis. Now, you are wondering, what do I mean by communists? Yes, my sources tell me that among this Alpha Company are communists, soldiers wishing to rebuild a communist regime, starting with our nation. But do not worry, do not panic. Day and night, Russians are fighting against Alpha Company. I have heard recently there was an attack on their base of operations, and it was an effective attack. Large portions of their forces were dealt with accordingly. But this is not the outcome me or my allies are pushing for. We wish to drag them out like the vermin they are, and lawfully charge them not only for their crimes against Chernarus, but for their crimes against the Chernarusian people. And we will follow the laws of our nation. They will be dealt with as justice dictates. They will have a trial. Now, I will not lie to you. I cannot say that the punishment will be light. I cannot say there will be shown copious amounts of leniency and mercy. More than likely, the punishment will be death. Now, we are not criminals. We are not monsters. We will do this quickly. Now, hanging, shooting, one of the two is preferable. Something quick, something near painless. For these are, in fact, people. People die in war. This, yes, is inevitable. And we must embrace that. They will die with honor. We will give them their last words. We will try to get word to their family if any remains. But these are the ways of dealing with your enemies. No more going behind the back of your enemy, trying to subvert them, trying, like our enemies here in Alpha Company, to subvert the nation and take over. No. We face our enemies forward. We fight. No more subversion. No more insurgency. I now hear you asking yourself, what war? You say we are at war? Yes, we are at war. We are at war metaphorically and literally. We are at war metaphorically with the world because the world stands against Chernarus, or at least much of it. They wish to win our sovereignty. They wish, like Russia and the United Nations, to bring in their own influence in one way, shape, or form to take over. Now, literally, we are at war with the dead and with those like the Alpha Company. But it must be understood that our first priority is, in fact, the undead. If tomorrow the Alpha Company comes, throws down their weapons, and offers surrender, maybe, just maybe, we could give peace a chance. For we are human. We are people. The Internationals are not the enemy of Chernarus. The enemies of Chernarus are the enemies of Chernarus. Those who take up arms, no matter nationality, no matter even if they are Chernarusian. The anarchists believe they can overthrow what is left of our government, of our military. They are also our enemy. So, not only is this a message, not only is this a granting of information long prolonged, this is a message. This is an offer. Alpha Company, I am Octavian Caesar. Open the gates of what you call an encampment, throw down your weapons, and surrender. If you do this, if you follow these commands, if you take my offer, I can, in fact, with the power invested in me by the Chernarusian people, offer you mercy. You will serve a sentence within our remaining facilities. You will not be executed, but that is only if you surrender without further bloodshed. Your Russian masters don't care about you. They never did. They sent you here and told you to hold out. They told you to create a foothold for the coming army. But I know every day you grow less and less certain that the help they promise is coming. Less and less you think that Russia has the power to even take a single city in our nation. Surrender or die. That is the offer. I must go now, but I will return with more information at a later date. I am Octavian of the House Caesar, and I am the blood of Chernarus. I am a son of Chernarus.